Hey, welcome to Options Brew TV. We have a special guest today, Andrew, listen to me, Andrew Giovinnazi, screw, how do I say it, Andrew? I'm sorry. Giovinnazi, for God's sake. You even told me before I went live. I'm so dumb. Giovinnazi. I'm looking at the name right in front of me. So Andrew and I go way back. Andrew is a former floor trader, right? It's just like I am. And, you know, Andrew, I'm gonna let you tell the viewers a little bit about your background, just to give them a flavor of where you're coming from. So fire out.
Sure. So I started on the Peak Coast in 1989. Oh my God.
wait, you're almost as old as I am.
Yeah, I know. 89. Started my market making there for Group One. I was relatively young and moved to Chicago to try to go to the big show. Opened our DPM post. That's actually when I met the first Boda guys, Rick Steriati.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Then I was there for like 6 years, and I want to go back to San Francisco and started trading for Group One, and then opened my own trading firm by the last seven years or so that I trade. On the Pico. So I think I probably spent 15 years. I don't know how many, like 15 years. How many option contracts? Like, I don't know.
A bazillion.
7 bazillion option contracts.
Right.
And I retired in 06.
Yep.
Of course, right before probably two of the biggest years at the time. Everybody I knew that's like flying jets because they stayed around 2 more years.
So I think you're referring to the big 08 financial crisis, right?
Correct.
What's good about options traders? We want chaos, right? When things go nuts, we kill it. Doesn't matter up or down, we kill it, especially when volatility is involved.
Exactly. So besides that, small regret, but no big deal.
Yeah. So now you're in the off-floor world, and you're teaching students, or I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you're a mentor, an educator. You're with Option Pit. Yeah.
Option Pit.
Okay. Yeah. With Mark, Sebastian, and Leisha. They're
almost
fantastic.
10 years now.
That's awesome. And you guys, I will say this, what a great community you guys are. I think you three are some of the best teachers I've ever seen in my life. Just
thanks.
Terrific. You guys do such a good job, and super interesting stuff. And would you say kind of VIX based, more volatility centric? Is that
definitely that. I do a lot of we do a lot of individual coaching where we kind of specialize in bringing people that want to get to like what I would just call pro trader level. Like if we have a niche, I would say it's that. Besides teaching people about volatility and how it works and how it can make better trades, I'm pretty sure we're the only firm that has actually taken a retail trader and turned them into a market maker and sent them back to a floor. I don't know of another one that's done that. Yeah.
That's cool. That's great.
Now he was definitely a great candidate, really smart, and teachable. So I just, teaching somebody how to market make is actually almost easier than retail trading, right?
I agree 100%. So let me ask you another question then, relative to Option Pit and your community. Getting to that, let's call it the pro level, lack of a better term, but you still do this in a retail environment, right? Can a beginner get there? Do you take a beginner, and can you get a beginner all the way through the program and ultimately land as what you would consider a pro or expert trader, advanced trader? I'm not sure I'm saying the right word, but is that possible?
Yep, that's how it's structured. It's a good question, because basically everybody. So what I've seen it, like I probably taught, I don't know, maybe 1,000 students at Option Pit, and we have like a core of 100, what we'll call our pro trader group, that are still here like 10 years later, something, right?
Okay.
They just like the community. They use this kind of as a risk desk as well. They have questions, and something's goofy, like when you're a floor trader, you've just seen so much weird stuff, right? Like not much surprises you.
No. And when I see weird stuff, I will add, I never made money from the weird stuff. It was always a loss. When I learned something new, I'm like, didn't know that one.
Yeah.
What a great expensive education that was, right?
Exactly. Like, I know for the next time though, right?
That's right.
So, and a lot of our students use that. So we do have a lot of students that they started where they have been trading for a while, but they've been kind of they can't scale their account without just having a crazy risk.
Right.
We help them with that. We also help them what we'll call, like, my 4 pillars of volatility, like how to trade realized vol, how to trade skew, how to trade forward vol, and how to trade the VIX curve, right? So for retail, that's probably where the best edge is for trading vol. It's also something where we can help people learn to identify stuff. Okay, like, and the reason why it's there is because like the market maker community now, things move so fast, they will let stuff get out of line because they have to, right? They're going to move vol. I mean, if you look at a couple charts of VIX, I was just doing a class. VIX spikes so fast now, it's crazy. I mean, 6-7 years ago, besides 2008, like the the candles on the spikes are crazy, right? So, but that's, you can teach a type of trade to take advantage of that, right? It's just a vol condition. So when you were trading, you're like, okay, vol's low, I'm going to do this. Vol's high, I'm going to do this. I think, and when options were insane, you're like, I got to sell those. If I don't sell those, I'm stupid, right? So those are all things you can teach somebody to help identify that. So that's kind of where we specialize in, but we start them from all the basics, what's a call, what's a put. We let them learn that through osmosis. I don't do a lot of intro classes that way. Like every time I think of an intro class, my students are like, Andrew, only an option pit is this. You think this is an intro class? This would be like off the charts in some other class. So,
that's why I love you guys. That's awesome. So do you have a couple examples for us today? Can you share a screen and show us some
Here,
ideas?
I'll tell you what, I will share a screen here, Lex, for you.
Perfect.
So this is like an example, right? So we tried. So this is a realized vol example. We're going through this in Ford today, right? Where this is what we call an edge hunter sheet, and this is trying to help people identify when options are relatively cheap or expensive.
Okay. Where am I looking now? I have a drawing tool I can use too, Andrew.
Okay. So here I've got I'll use the annotation tool here.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so we're trading Ford here.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. This is telling us, so we create a volatility here in intraday vol based on ATR.
Understood. Okay, ATR is, sorry, let me just, ATR is average true range. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yep. We're gonna spell it out in this one, so bear with me.
That's right. That'll be a good one. All right. So ATR is average true range. So this basically tells you, so when you were scalping, like, right, Lex, when you would scalp stock and stuff like that, how much of the range you can expect per day. Right now it's a 78 vol, so that's around 5%, 6% a day, right? For Ford. Next here is a vol that is 49%. That's the realized close to close vol.
Okay.
So what we're trying to figure out is, so if you go buy a straddle, okay, and you maintain this vol in any sort of momentum, what's your straddle going to be worth 2 days, 3 days, 4 days later? So right now, if I buy a straddle here and I hold it for 3 days, theoretically, from 78 cents to 98 cents. So I should make 28 cents doing nothing.
Okay.
If all the vols hold exactly where they were coming into the trade. So what it does is if you want to buy options, right? You want options that when you buy them, they're going to freaking fly, right?
Absolutely.
So this helps our students figure out, all right, if I'm going to buy calls, and I bought a strangle in Ford today. I would never buy a strangle in Ford, right? But it's never had $1 candles either, right? It's had like 2 $1 candles in 4 days. So the options out of 40 vol, like, is this, so if you're trading something, right, Lex, and you say a 40 vol stock to you just kind of doesn't do very much, right? But 40 vol stocks don't have 100% volatility 2 out of 4 days, right?
That's unusual.
That's unusual.
That's unusual.
So the sheet's telling you, like, hey, like all this blinky blue light stuff here, saying you want to own these options. So is it a guarantee it's going to make money? No, but it's giving your brain a head start into the fact that, hey, I should be on the buy side. I certainly don't want to be on the sell side of these things right now.
Understood.
Right? And it's just like having a back spread in the old days. And hey, and then you ride it, and then you scalp it. So some of our students, they have portfolio margin, they'll scalp stock. You know, the fact that trade lock commissions are so good, scalping stock, that's a reality, right?
That's right. That's right.
So it makes life nice.
Let me ask a question, Andrew. So for clarity, okay. So can you hit the clear button there? Let's clear some of that away so I can point. There you go. Okay. So you pointed to this, I think you said it was a straddle. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. And you showed that it does make money out 4 days. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. What is this direction? What are these? It looks like I'm trying to figure out what that is in those 4 days. Is that
okay? Yeah. So this is the underlying going up. Okay. It's the underlying going up.
Oh, I got it now. I didn't see the prices there. Okay.
Yep. And then this is the underlying going down at the current vol.
Understood. Okay. I missed that. Now I get it. Okay. Got it. That's my bad.
Yeah. The whole idea too is like, so if you're getting, you could even buy a straddle, have momentum continuation, and it still makes money. Even though your put's burning, you can still make money. And then from a trade point of view, normally it's either scalping for me or I dump the calls. Make money, and then I have the put for credit, which is fine because puts for credits eventually.
Love puts for credits. It's good.
There were some.
All right, next question. So back to this, just for clarity purposes, this number is the intraday volatility. Is that kind of say ATR intraday? Is it the high to the low kind of a vol computation?
Yep, that's a prop number that we created. We kind of did the algo and option pit and and run that vol.
Understood. And then this is a close to close volatility of that underline as well, right?
Yes.
And what's this last value? I see what it says on the right there. What is that last value?
Oh, that's the true range from the day before. It's just telling you the range of the candle.
Okay. And then that's a 7-day kind of figure, the numbers you're using.
So this one, this is what we do. It is just for simplicity. This is running on the last 7 trading days. So it's giving you an idea for this cycle. Right. So how was the last 7 days? And as you scroll down, let me go to here. Let me go to scroll. As you scroll down, it gives you longer term vols, right? Okay. So you're basically every cycle that I would say where you would think about buying some juice, buying options basically, and it will take you all the way out to, I think October, actually September here. Okay. October. Got it. So that's 80 days out there. Yeah, it's 100 days. Right. Okay. So this is, no, sorry. I was going to say, so there's potential that, and I'm reading the legends up top. Some of these colors could potentially be expensive, meaning you don't want to buy them because the volatility of the options is way higher than what's being computed for realized. Is that safe to say? Yep. Okay, good. So I just wanted the viewers to understand that it's not just a buying mechanism. If you choose or you cannot sell options because of whatever kind of account you might have, you just might not do anything in this stock because vol could be expensive and you can't sell it. Correct. Or you find a safe way to sell it. Yep. So we, from there, and now sometimes, you could look at an iron condor, you could look at 1x2 spreads, stuff like that. Perfect. And it also helps sort of, to see how the numbers can be a little different. Yep. So this also gives you, so we pick like just a 15, basically 16 and 25 delta option. If there's any extra skew or anything like that, so the options look a little more expensive, then you create, cheap spreads or cheap 1x2s, cheap lines, anything like that. Yeah. Very good. To help you pay for everything. Awesome. Love it. Love it. Wow. So this is this whole spreadsheet here. Is this something that you give to the students or you just use it in your teaching? No, this is something that if you buy Edge Hunter, you can buy the program. And that's just something we teach. Like I teach you how to use this. We actually have 10 sheets. Oh, wow. Okay. So basically for any trade that you can think of, like I said, part of what we do at Option Pit is we try to take what I would call like a more pro trader methodology, vol arb. How do you convert that to the retail audience, right? Like if you say vol arb to retail audience, right, when they're just learning, their head goes, like they don't care about that, right? Show me how I can make money. I go, well, okay, you can buy a strangle and you can hold it 3 days with expected value edge in the trade. Like if vol stays constant, at least what the vol you have, right? Right. So it's helping people get a sense of what buying, but also sometimes when options are ridiculously expensive, right? You're getting an idea now relative where kind of the value is.
Sure.
So we sell this as an Edge Hunter package. I'm actually doing a webinar tomorrow on it. But when you become one of our pro students, this is something that you get. Like the whole idea of the package is, we're giving you basically a way to look at the entire vol universe trading, which actually the sheets access everything that's traded, listed. I guess on the SIBO you could think, right?
Sure.
Basically every listed option.
Okay.
And VIX and all the volatility complex as well.
Right.
It gives all the students, okay, relative gives you a baseline and relative value, right? So when you were trading and you were starting, it's probably one of the first things you learned, right? Is, you know, what is this thing worth, man? How can I figure this crap out? I got no idea. You're cold, you walk in, what's this shit worth? Right?
You know what I did? I found the biggest and best trader, and I tried to stand next to him or her and just copy what that person did. Now
that was a great way to learn.
Right. Little did I know, I didn't know what he did behind the scenes with his hedging, but hey, listen, I learned the hard way.
Right. See, the thing is that you survived for like 25 years, so
yeah, it worked somehow. I managed.
Somehow you managed, right?
Yeah, this is great. So this Edge Hunter, I know there's a skew component here. I see that. So do you typically have people paying attention to, let's call it the at the money swath of options, or do you kind of look at that entire curve in terms of trying to find edge, I guess is my question.
Right. It depends the type of trade.
Okay.
So if let me see if I have a fly sheet up. I don't. I have a calendar sheet up. I'll pull a fly sheet up over here though. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
So what we do is we look at every part of the curve. So is the edge near the money? Is the edge near the money selling the outs? Is it the calendar edge? You know, let me pull it up for you here. It's, you know, where can we find it basically?
Okay.
So the idea of having these sheets is I want just a blue blinky light when I care to look for it, right? If there's no edge and everything is kind of meh, I don't care. And I'm just going to go on to something else. So part of this is, you know, when we were trading, right, we had sheets, and then eventually we had like sort of our, you know, theoreticals on a computer, right? And you kind of had that setup where you can see where the edge was building somewhere, right? Like all of a sudden you walked into the morning, and by the afternoon, the bottom of your screen, everything was blowing through what you thought it was worth, right? You're like, wait a minute, somebody's buying this stuff.
Right.
So what we've had is I've tried to, we want to create sheets that kind of mimic that idea.
Understood.
But it's more like, but as a retail person, like, what do? They're not going to put on, you know, they're not going to put on a bunch of funky trades and just hedge with stock, right? They're going to try to look for a strangle or straddle or a fly, and then, you know, and then manage that trade, and then get out of it. So, so we go pretty much. It's a good question. So we will look pretty much everywhere.
Yep.
So right now, what this sheet is.
This is called the butterfly sheet.
Butterfly sheet. Yep.
Okay.
And what this does is, primarily I use this for trading SPX, because this is kind of what I would call my, you know, theta generator. Like when there looks like, when basically I want some juice, when I want some positive theta coming in.
Okay. So we're doing something. We're selling something safely.
Exactly.
Okay.
We are selling something safely. So here's the term. This actually sets the fly up, gives you the strikes and the volume, and it tells you here what the edge is. Now, the only problem with this is a positive number is actually bad, because that means you're spending more money for vol than you're selling.
Okay.
Okay. So what you want to see is a little green blinky light here, like right here.
There's one up there.
So right now, what this tells you is there's a little edge, not very much. It's basically pretty close to fair.
Sure.
But the at the money 4190s are relatively inexpensive, and selling the 4165s, there's a little bit of vol edge in that fly.
Got it.
Right?
Got it. And it looks like you're doing kind of like an iron butterfly or whatever they call it nowadays.
An iron butterfly, like a 231.
Yep. Got
it.
So
we teach the student first how the flies work, right? Like, okay, how do you make money with this crazy thing? And then also look at the times and conditions when it's better for a fly, because we're not one of those places where it's a Tuesday, it's Fly Tuesday. Instead of Taco Tuesday, it's Fly Tuesday. So we're going to put on these flies every Tuesday, and we're going to make a fortune.
Right.
Like, I don't think it really works like that. You have to be somewhat conditionally aware, like what's going on. So here, this fly, the risk reward on this is 6-1 from for just buying a 41.90 strike, which to me, like if I think the market's going to fall apart, what I will do is I'll ratio these flies. I'll buy like 5 flies and buy some SPY, basically SPY underlying, because it's easy to manage to get in and out of. And just so I have a flat delta with basically high theta, but looking for the stock to fall apart. So once you kind of learn how to use the trades, it becomes easier. And that's what we're teaching our students. We're teaching a process. It's not just, I want to get short, but how can I get short with like 6-1 risk reward and not blow my account out if I'm wrong, right? The best thing about these flies, if you're going to spend $7, you're only risking $7. You know?
Yeah, that's an important point. When I do a lot of these demos too, it's hard in the retail world to be short units, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
You have to have a lot of money. So, the takeaway also is that, these butterflies are, as you said, they're defined, they're safer, right? You have no exposed units out there, even though you're a combination of longs and shorts, there's nothing exposed, except for perhaps the premium you pay for it, right?
Exactly. So this is like, again, another type of sheet where we're looking at different parts of the curve and just where basically where the edge is, right? And then the sheet basically makes the trade for you, and you basically try to execute it as it says. It's giving you the midpoint price, the cost, the edge, and all the Greeks. So it's giving you the idea of what it is.
So there's a suggested price the user should shoot for to put this on. Is that right?
Exactly. So if you want to put it on for $7.20, you should have about that much edge.
Got it. Awesome. This is great.
And that's this type of sheet. Like I said, we have 10 sheets. We could sit here all night and just
that's great.
But this is generally the idea. So for selling credit spreads, we have a sheet that works, calendars, and trading the vol products. So pretty much any trade you can think of that you want to make, we've basically taken the sort of the vol R bent on it, and then generates whether you have any real edge or not.
That's awesome. And it's not just in index products, right? It can be, like you said, you showed Ford before. So it's any product you can append to this with this strategy. Is that right?
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Good. And do you guys have a universe of stocks that you like to look at? And is there some signaling sort of structure that says, hey, this vol is high, it blew up, let's go look at it?
What I have is I have kind of like a vol curve where I try to follow what's going on with the universe of stocks I'm kind of used to, right? Because I'm not doing this as like, hey, I'm an investor. It's more like the underlying is just a vehicle to deliver a kind of a vol surface for me, and then I put the trade on.
Sure.
Right. So it's like like the thing with Ford, like, okay, so in my 401k, I might buy a lot of Ford calls, right? Because maybe it become like go up $4 or $5 or something.
Right. That's awesome.
But that's different than just looking at the sheet and saying I'm going to buy a straddle for 4 days, and if it doubles in price, I'm just going to sell the thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm not. All it is strictly just a trade. It's It's basically a vol vehicle for me. And then after I'm done with it, I just go on to something else. I don't care.
Cool. All right, let's I'll stop your share and we'll get back to talking to each other. That's awesome. That's great stuff. How do people find it's optionpit.com to sign up and do their thing?
Optionpit.com. We actually have customer care now. We have somebody they can talk to if they're trying to, like, how do they improve their trading? Like, let's say they're an iron condor trader and it's going horribly wrong or something. We can help them fix that. Just to get some more management into the into the trade. So you go optionpit.com and memberships.
Okay, good. And how many students do you teach regularly? I mean, you have a swath of students you're always focused on. Are they in a room regularly, or is it this? You said there's some one-on-one.
So yeah, so I do some one-on-one, although I don't have too much time to do that anymore.
Yep.
We still might do one-on-ones, but mostly I do small group sessions. So
Okay.
it could be anywhere between 5 people and 50 people.
Okay.
Per session.
Got
So
it.
that way people can ask questions and interact and stuff like that. So
yeah, and so they type questions, or they actually verbalize them.
They type questions.
Okay.
In some of the sessions, all the mics are open and they can ask questions, so we can work through a problem, work through a trade, work through a solution, work through the sheets and stuff.
Great. And good. I think you mentioned earlier, good stickiness. You have people who've been around for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I know, it's crazy.
Right.
And they stay around. I go, I can't teach you anything else. We teach you new stuff at this point. And they're like, well, they're like just in case.
Right.
Just in case I have a question, I like to be around.
Right. That's awesome. And I think, well, I don't think I know, because I'm on your mailing list. So I get an option pit email, maybe several a day. And so I don't know if I'm getting it from you as opposed to Mark, but maybe that's his role. But great information on those emails.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, you can. Yeah. And we do have if you want, we do have some free email, but it's what's going on in the market, what we're putting on. These are the trades that we're putting on.
Yep.
Like good or bad. This is the reason why. Leisha has a trade. She has her own profits and pumps, and she's totally kicking ass. She's like she's a candlestick trader, but buying spreads. She does really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. She's up a crazy amount of money.
She won't do a show though. I don't think she likes to be on the camera.
She will maybe now, but she needs to have some preparation time. I think she will. I think she will now. She will.
That's awesome. Tell her editing. Editing always fixes everything.
I'll tell her. Well, now that she has her own product and she's trying to teach people about stuff, she's warming up to the idea. Let's say.
That's awesome.
It's kicking and screaming, but she's doing it.
Now I don't want to put you on the spot, but you just say I can't say that. But can you talk about pricing, what it costs to join, or is that something you want to make people go to the website for?
We have so basically you have something where if you want to learn how to trade the vol products, that's like the Vol Edge and the Vol Trade Club. That's I think it's $2,500 for a lifetime membership, which is a pretty good deal.
Yep.
If you want to just trade ideas, it's like $4.99 a quarter for sharp bets, or Robinhood. If you want to do Trading Legion, where you have education every week, 3 live sessions a week, 1 year is $3,900.
Okay.
Give or take.
Sure.
And if you want the pro is $15,000, because it has a daily chat room, it has all the sheets, got a lot of stuff.
Right. And that's a yearly number, right? Annual number.
There's an annual number, and then there's basically that's an annual number.
Okay. Understood.
We do maintenance for people, so if they want to stick around for a long time, we do a lifetime option. Sure. So it just it caps the amount that they spend. And
understood.
That's why a lot of people are sticking around too.
Yeah.
Because they get that option as well.
Good. That's awesome. Yeah. And I just want to reiterate to viewers too. I think you guys are doing something that isn't really found out there. I think you guys are unique and so smart relative to volatility and everything you do. And I just wanted to also emphasize, you come from the same world I come from, which is the floor world. And you've taken what you've learned there and what has worked, and you've transmuted it to the off-floor retail guy. It's amazing. It's such a hard thing to do, yet you guys have succeeded in doing it. I really urge people to have a look at this, because this is how Andrew and I thought on the floor, and he's brought it to the retail world in your living room or in your office in your home. It's terrific stuff.
Really. Basically, I mean, thanks, Lex. It works, so it keeps the lights on. So
right. Well, the lights on in Maine. He's coming to us from Maine, or you'll way up in the North Woods somewhere.
Somewhere in the woods.
Right. That's right.
That's what I missed. Mark moved to Austin, then it was my big time going to Chicago a couple of times. I got out.
That's awesome. Well, Andrew, thanks for coming on. We'll have this out in the sociosphere in a few weeks, and let's hope to do it again.
All right. It was a pleasure, Lex. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.